Good evening. I want to keep my promise. I promised my students I would talk about information for passing the road test, so I'm going to stay committed to my promise. You will be graded. It's going to be a grading scale 1 through 4. We're going to talk about turns first. When you're making turns, you want to approach the lane properly. You want to look left and right. You want to scan and yield to oncoming traffic. You have to turn on your signal. Okay. You're going to be making a series of right turns and left turns. So it's really important that you work on being consistent, controlling your speed, and really being aware of your surroundings. Next, braking. You do not want to slam your brakes. You want to be smooth. You want to be consistent, because if you're going to slam the brakes, you're going to throw that road tester, that DMV tester forward, and they're going to mark you down. I always try to teach my students to have great speed control, to take their time, and to really control that vehicle. You want to have smooth stops. Next, a lot of beginning drivers stop unnecessarily. You're tapping the brakes, you're tapping the brakes, you're tapping the brakes. Stop with the purpose. Stop for safety. Stop for smoothness. Check that rear mirror. You want to stop behind the stop line. That is that large, thick, white line. You stop behind the stop line. The front end of the car is behind that stop line. The two thin white lines are for the pedestrian crosswalk. Pedestrians can walk across. If you're making a right turn, then after you stop completely, about 3 seconds, then you inch forward. You're looking to your left, checking traffic. If it's clear and the intersection is clear, you turn into the nearest lane. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already known, up there, right there is my YouTube channel. It's called Driving with Myles. If you don't know, I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. I've been teaching driver's ed 21 years, so it's a great opportunity for me. Next, let's talk about traffic. You have to have proper traffic checks. You're looking left, you're looking middle, you're looking right. You have to have good eye movement. That is critical for safety. That is critical for success. You'll be graded 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, total, it will be a total score of 25 points. It varies from state to state, province to province. Let's go ahead and hit a little quiz question. The first quiz question, and this is from a knowledge test. This is when the vehicle's weight is centered. Is it the center of friction? Is it the center of motion? Or is it the center of gravity? It is the center of gravity. Let's continue. You have to turn into the nearest lane. If you're turning into the right lane and you're by the curb, you need to start in that lane. You need to finish in that lane. If you turn in the wrong lane, you could cause an accident and you will be marked down. The same thing when you're making a left-hand turn. Turn into the nearest lane. If it's a single left-hand turn, you turn right by that double yellow. You don't veer to the right out of your lane because you're going to cut off oncoming traffic. But what about multiple left-hand turns, multiple lanes? Whatever lane you're in, you need to stay in that appropriate lane. Let's talk about controlled steering. I've had a lot of questions. You don't want to let the wheel spin through your hand because you could lose control. There's a lot of controversy about this. We are taught to turn hand over hand into the turn, hand over hand out. I know there's an airbag in the middle, right? Don't put your hands or fingers near the airbag. There have been studies, small, slow speed, right turns, parking require hand over hand. In different countries, different teachers teach different things. There's a hand to hand and a hand over hand. So you have to find a method that you're comfortable with, that you feel safe with, and then really excel at that. Let's go ahead and talk about intersections. We talk about making a complete stop. You don't want to do a rolling stop. If you do a rolling stop, you will be marked down. Okay? Even though we see drivers all the time not stopping, rolling stops, ignoring stop signs. You cannot be that. You cannot be that driver that rolls stop signs. Have good fundamentals. And when you have good fundamentals, you will be really successful. Let's talk about the next thing. Once you make your turn, you want to accelerate. You want to look left, right, left. You turn hand over hand into the nearest lane, and then you accelerate. A lot of beginning drivers lift their foot or they slam that gas. And when you slam the gas, the car's going to lunge forward. If you're driving a manual and you're in second or third gear, if you're in third gear, the car's going to lunge and slow down. If you're in a first or second gear, the car's going to surge forward. So you really want to have good smoothness. Let's talk about through intersections. Through intersections, you've got to scan left and right. You've got to look. People may turn in front of you. They misjudge distance. Intersections are the most dangerous place. If you could get hit, if you could have an accident, it's going to be in the intersection. With that in mind, you've got to look ahead as far as possible. Also, going over railroad tracks, you've got to look left, right, and left before you go over the railroad tracks, right? Let's go ahead and hit another question right now. All right, this is another question. I promised my students I would do this, so let's go ahead and read it. Why are pavement markings on our roads important? Is it A, they give us information on where we're traveling, the color on the road, or do they tell you when you've missed your turn? The correct answer is they give you information on the road that you're traveling. So I'm giving you tips for your knowledge test. So you need to rewatch this. You need to just absorb this. Okay, let's go ahead and hit a few more things. I'm doing this in part, so I want you to understand this. You want to have good speed control. That is critical. If you speed over the limit, automatic failure. You don't get another opportunity. You want to demonstrate to that road tester that you have total control of your vehicle. You want to be smooth. You want to be consistent. Consistency allows you to go smoothly with the flow of the traffic. If you go over speed, you're going to be tailgating cars, run a risk of running a light, slamming your brakes if the light changes. If you're under speed, that can also happen too. So you want to have smooth speed control, but you do not want to go over the limit. You also want to have good eye movement. I can't emphasize that enough. And when I teach my students this, you always have to look around. I'm asking students questions. What color's that car? What color's the light? What color's this? What color's that? Look around. Have good eye movement. So let's review. I'm a state certified instructor, and I'm very proud of that fact. It's been a happy journey, a blessed journey. I drive anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 students a year. I've been doing this 21 years. I'm always trying to get better, learn new technology, Kahoot, Quizlet. I have some other digital things that are going to be coming out soon. So if you like this type of content and you're learning something, leave it in the comments. I read those comments. To all my brothers and sisters around the world, thank you for the support that you have given me. And I really love you and appreciate you. And let's keep bringing this energy together. And if there's certain content that you want me to do, let me know that in the comments. I always put a knowledge test questions in there just to keep you going, give you something to look forward to when you come to my website. And I just want to bring you value. So I wanted to say thank you today. And I just wanted to keep my promise to my students where I talked about the information for the road test. And if you follow these things, you're going to pass your test. So leave those things in the comments, share this with your friends, and let's keep this thing going. I really love you and appreciate you. And if you have any questions right now, go ahead and type those questions in. You know, we were talking about some general driving behaviors in the road test and what you have to do. I'll give you some more information here. A lot of beginning drivers check the speedometer too frequently. If you're staring down the speedometer, you're not looking at the road. You've got to look ahead. And if you're constantly staring down, just like I'm looking down, you won't be able to see the environment around you. Things are always changing. Pedestrians are walking. The lights are changing. People are pulling out. Hey, parallel parking. Yes, you do have to use your signal. I have my students turn on the emergency flashers because we're working on developing those movements. Yes, you need to have on your blinker. This lets other drivers know that you're slowing down, getting ready to park, because drivers are not really paying attention at all. So yes, very good question, Lopez. Let's continue. We talked about over the railroad crossings. You got to look left and right before you go over, or you will be marked down. There's certain things, it varies from state to state, province to province. You have to be a defensive driver out here because other drivers are not driving defensively. You can be doing everything right and still get into an accident. Okay. Let's give you some other bonus content. A lot of beginning drivers brake too early or brake too late. So you have a really abrupt stop. It's all about smoothness and squeezing the brake. Here's another tip. Wear thin sole shoes. Converse are a really good shoe because you want to be comfortable. You're going to be a little hyped. You're going to be a little bit nervous when you take your tests. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you and keep supporting me, and I'll keep giving you great content. Bye.